didn't deserve it at all, what I put them through. I mean, imagine you're talking to the same person, and all along you think you're talking to three different people. And I have so many stories of that, y'all. And no, I do not suffer from personality disorder. I don't suffer from any of that kind of stuff. But I just felt like that's what I wanted to. That's how I was trying to mend my broken heart. That's how I was trying to fix my pain. I was trying to fix myself by making others feel bad. And that's something that I had done all my life, though. Even as a child, I would make others feel bad so that I could feel good, so that I could feel in charge and in control. And when I lost my control, I realized I wasn't in control, and I lost it whenever those relationships crushed me like that. So I said, well, I still want somebody to talk to, but I ain't trying to get close to nobody. I still want to, have men friends, but I ain't trying to get close to them. And I knew a lot of them was really getting deep in. I mean, they was deep in. They had then already put me on the phone with their mamas and stuff. And I done met the mamas and daddies. And then one day when they're expecting me to show up or either call them, I get ghost. They don't hear from me anymore. Till 10, 11 years later, when they're telling me after they done found me that you're the reason why I can't love women now. And I'm like, wow. And that's what I was told. Several of the guys told me that. Because I never told them I was playing them. I played my role. I was a character. I was 3 different characters. That's who I was. Now, how they found me on Facebook was probably through the name Coco. But the people that I had underneath the name Jada, those guys, they haven't found me though. But Coco, Trina, and some of those guys have found me. And we're still friends on Facebook. They just had to get it off their chest what they felt, especially like if I put something up about single women and men. And what people don't know is I do relationship 411 now. And what certifies me to do that is because I have been through so many ups and downs. I've been through the thing of being somebody else where you're pretending to be somebody else just to see where the guy is at and all this. I've been through the crazy spirals. I've been through domestic violence. I've been through even what do you call it? Unconsented sex and all that stuff, I've been through a lot of things. And so when I got saved, all that changed my life. And I was able to come back and help women and men out instead of just, continuing to live the life that I was living. And the thing that got me up out of my darkness was when my dad died. That's why I say I can't be mad at God for taking my dad, because when my dad died, it was like that's when I really got life. It was hard, but that's when my eyes really started opening. That's when my heart began to feel again. I began to feel my heartbeats then. I started feeling life again. I started having tears again. See, before that, I was so hurt from what those guys did to me. I never cried. I never showed any emotion. Nobody never knew how I really felt after those relationships, because I shut down and I didn't talk to nobody except for those guys. I had so much anger and aggression in me. And see, in therapy now, so that's what they're working with me on, is all of that, getting all this stuff out. And that's why this is my confession on tonight. I said, yeah, I played those guys. And at that time, I didn't care. I wanted them to hurt. I wanted them to feel what it felt like to be hurt so that they wouldn't want to do a woman like that. But in the process, it was wrong, because what it did was made them not want to even be with a woman, period. Oh, that's not funny, but excuse me on that laugh. But it's just crazy, because I was like, when I was Coco, which is my real nickname, but when I was Coco, those were the guys that I could chill with. Those were the guys that I would meet every now and then, go somewhere and meet them and, just chill with them. And never went on no official. Well, I did go on one date. I went to Waffle House with one guy. He met me at church and took me to the Waffle House. And that was nice. But that's about as far as that went. Because after that, I really didn't contact him anymore. And he was like, "What happened to you?" "So, what? What? Because you feed me, you want me to stick by you?" I mean, y'all, I'm just telling y'all the truth. That's where my mindset was at back then. My mindset was fixed on making people pay because I got hurt. That's how bad it was. And that's actually a learned behavior that I had learned. And I'm not going to tell you who I learned it from, but it was a learned behavior from my family. In my family. So, all I can say is that when you get to the point where you're hurt that bad, that you see red every day. I saw red and black every day. I never saw no in between. I was never happy again after that until a few years ago. I didn't have no joy, no happiness, no peace, nothing. It was like some nights I'd be riding to meet these guys and I could feel the devil up on my back. I could feel the rage inside of my heart. I don't know if you've ever felt what rage is like, but rage, when it gets inside of your heart, when you're so angry, all it feels is like somebody is steady squeezing your heart nonstop, really quick. Really quick. It's nerves going across your chest, down your back, in your legs and stuff. It's never one direct feeling. You don't care about anybody. I didn't care about anybody. I could care less. I told you, I was so far gone out on this thing that I didn't even realize that my children was grown and out on their own. Before I knew it, things was happening. And that's how bad it was. So, the confession I'm telling you tonight, I actually go in better detail tomorrow because, like I said, I did have an hour broadcast on here. I went into detail about what had happened and how I did it because I was very organized at what I would do. I was very organized at how I would meet these guys, but sometimes that would not stop the worst from happening, which could be like some guys could be trying to hijack me or, take my car or something. I went through a lot. So I learned not to trust at all. That's what I learned. I learned how to trust. I went through so much that I just thank God that I'm still living because the way I played that game, some women didn't get past playing one man, let alone playing with my collection of men, which was 70. At that time, it was 70 guys. I remember I had about 10 of them named James. I mean, they were all the way from the prison camps to the hoods. I mean, I had some show no thugs. You hear me? This one guy, good God Almighty, rolled up on them. I never forget that. It was nothing but guns and stuff. Oh, excuse me. It was nothing but guns and stuff. I mean, it was horrible, but I will go into more detail the rest of this week on that, and because I'm going to get ready and get off in here because I need to watch me a show or two before I get off, but I'm going to try to get at least 30 minutes in. But that one guy, he said he had his own house and stuff, and I was like, okay, we finna hit this thing off. Get down there, this guy living in a group home. He said, take me to the store. I took him to the store. He tried to start getting demanding and stuff. Guess what? I left him. He left me a voice message, said he was going to kill me. Another guy I hooked up with. Cute little fella. He looked like the guy that Eve was going with on Barbershop. On part one, that guy, that light-skinned guy with the pretty, grayish green eyes on Barbershop. He looked just like him. I mean, real cute guy. But the guy, I could always just look and tell something wasn't right about him, though. Real nice. It was like he wouldn't let himself get close. He would just tell me, he wouldn't let himself get emotionally invested which I didn't either. I wasn't emotionally invested in none of those guys. I mean, I could care less if they lived or died. I wouldn't have cried about it. I mean, to be honest, at that point in life, that's how cold I was back then. This guy would tell me all his business. He was selling weed and crack. He would tell me about all the crackheads that he would have come up in there, what he would have them do. He would tell me how he get his butt whipped when certain monies was, not flowing right. I mean, it was so much. And I would just sit there and look at him like, really? Really, Ian? I don't care nothing about what you're saying right now. And he would be having a bad day from that joke. And I'd be like, look, let's talk about me. Let's talk about what I want to do. And I would shut him down. I didn't care that he was getting his tail whipped because he shouldn't have been selling drugs. That's how I felt at that time. I'm just giving y'all some examples of how cold my heart was back then. One guy ended up in the hospital and he was like, Jada, can you come? He had a little small voice. He was like, Jada, can you come see about me? Can you come see me at the hospital? I said, what for? I'm sick. And you telling me this because? And he goes on to tell me why he needs me at the hospital. This sad story about he doesn't have family that'll come out. And he only has one sister living. And he wants somebody there that he can trust to be with him. And I'm like, well, I'm not coming. It was horrible. When I tell you horrible, it was horrible. I did that man wrong. Thank God he got all right, though. But when he got out, he still was trying to talk to me, and I just kept giving him torture. I was playing his mind. Torture. That's all I wanted, was to torment people. That's what I wanted, and that's what I did. I tormented those guys. They won't have no good time now. One guy told me, he said, you know what? You're just a fussy bee. I said, you is too. And every now and then I would meet my match. And when I would meet my match, I would go with them head for head. And I'd go with them till I break them down. I would find, because listen, you remember I told you I was organized. So if they told me anything about them, about the history, about the exes or anything, I would take anything good or bad and turn it around and use it against them when I would get mad. That's how I was. Can't tell me God can't change people, because he can. Because he changed me. And let me see, what was another guy? Now, I was Coco when I met James. James was the guy that helped me to lose my first 100 and some pounds. He was in prison, and he would call every day and help me, tell me what type of sit-up. Tell me, he would count for me and stuff as I was doing sit-ups and, just teach me a whole lot of weightlifting tricks and stuff that I could use, stuff so I could use at home. And he did that with me for about a whole year. So you see, these guys, all of them they wasn't really short term. They all became long-term strings to me. It was a game to me. They became long-term strings, and only a few of them I would feel myself getting close to, but then when I feel myself getting really close, I would have to let them go because they was hindering me. They was making me abort my mission, which was to torment men. That's what they were doing, so I would have to let them go. And I would. But now I kept James next to me. I kept James next to me up until he was killed. James was one of my favorites. I actually felt myself trying to have a soft spot for him. And then, I'm not going to tell you what happened with that. I'm not going to tell you what happened with that because that is still, kind of near and dear to me. So I won't tell you what happened with that. But I will tell y'all, catch me tomorrow. And when you catch me tomorrow, I will tell you more about my confession of my toy collection of men. I will tell you more about it because they were toys to me. I did not look at them as really men. I looked at them as being stupid and pathetic, and I was like, they were disgusting because how can you talk to somebody off a chat line and you don't even know them? It was so much that went through my mind.